Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, the trade trends are changing, but not always in the way you might expect. Firstly, growth seems to be fading in the air cargo markets. The uptrend is now modest, and the June slowing may have gotten help from a strike in Japan. But all the same, the slowing was happening anyway. Weakest growth was in the Asia-Pacific region, strongest growth in North America. But things are not so slow in the ship markets. The Baltic Dry Index is now at a 4-year high. This index is now 6 times higher than when it hit its record low in February 2016. In Canada, the value of building permits unexpectedly dropped 2.3% in June from May on weaknesses in the residential sector, especially for multifamily dwelling blocks. And as promised, China has moved to impose tariffs of 25% on $16 billion worth of additional American imports, from fuel and steel products to cars and medical equipment, all in response to the American escalation. Meanwhile, China's trade surplus shrank in July from June as it bought more from the rest of the world, but China's exports surged more than expected despite those new American tariffs. Its closely watched surplus with the United States dropped somewhat from its record high. And here's a rundown of what is happening in some key emerging markets that are most vulnerable to the trade wars. Russia is watching its currency sharply depreciate and inflation rise. Turkey is facing similar stress. But Indonesia is rising, posting its best growth figures in more than 10 years. However, Argentina is in the grip of strikes and its currency is tanking. But a bumper wheat crop there may save them if they can get it to market. In Australia, they're moving to complete a new free trade agreement with India, one that may set standards for us. And the US Treasury 10-year yield is unchanged today at 2.97%. Their 210 curve has slipped a little to 29 basis points. The Chinese 10-year is at 3.53%. That's up another 3 basis points, while the New Zealand equivalent is now just over 2.78%, up 1 basis point. And gold is up $4 in New York and now just on $1,213 an ounce. US oil prices have slumped today, down more than $2 a barrel and now just under $67 a barrel. The Brent benchmark is just over $72 a barrel. The slide comes as US petrol stocks rose far more than expected, and international trading relationships seem to be in a time of turmoil. And the Kiwi dollar is starting today firmer at 67.6 US cents. On the cross rates were a little changed, however, at 90.8 Aussie cents and 58.2 euro cents. That puts the TWI up to 71.1. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.